like we talked about at halftime, I mean, that's one of the best shooting performances I've seen a team have from just the, I mean, falling away, contact shots, shots in the hands in the face, and they're still falling down. I mean, I think they shot 81% in the first half. But what do you think, as you were going into halftime, what do you think were some of the big takeaways, knowing that you were still pretty much within striking distance?
Well, we were down, I don't know, about 20 at half, and my message to the team was we haven't played bad, and we haven't played poorly. We haven't played perfectly, but we've not played poorly. They shot, as you said, 80%, and that was from three-point line as well. They were right at 80% from three-point line. So, it's really, really hard to defend a team and be up on a team that's going to shoot that well. But we knew they're not going to shoot that well the rest of the way, and it's not just going to be a total blowout. And I felt like we made a couple decent runs there in the second half. I think got it to 14 at one point, and then it just seemed like we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a couple times at those periods when we were making a run. But still, even in the second half, it felt like we didn't play bad. We didn't play poorly. We just it was hard to overcome somebody shooting the way they did today. I felt like we played really good defense at times. Didn't always get rewarded. There was times where I felt like we rotated really well on defense, stopped them, and then they'd either fumble the ball and it happened to fall in the other team's hands, and they'd make a layup off of it or something. It just seemed to bounce the wrong way today. But we did a lot of really good things. We rotated. Bridget Gleed rotated really, really well on defense several times, and then ended up getting a concussion. And they called a foul on the play, but probably should have been more than a foul. Just took an elbow to the head. It was a physical game. It was a little bit more physical, and that was a challenge to the team to take that physicality and work hard, be strong with the ball. And I think we did an okay job of that. But again, it ultimately came down to the fact they shot the ball really, really well. And no matter how well we defend, there were times we wouldn't change anything we did, and they knocked down shots. So. No big complaints. I think they just played really, really well, and that we played a decent game. We didn't play poorly.
Brianna, let's go to you first to talk a little bit about defense, like Coach had mentioned. Mm-hmm. As a player on the floor, when you've done everything right defensively, and as I mentioned before, it's a fall away shot, or there was a couple, turnaround hook shots that the person probably in practice would make 1 out of 10, and they made 2 or 3. So what's going through your mind when that kind of a shot goes in,
It's a little bit of a letdown just because to me, I feel like seeing things like that is kind of luck. And I think the girls on the team feel that way as well. But our biggest thing is we have to stay positive about those things. Even when it does fall, we have to get back on defense and try to get a stop and just play as best we can. But when stuff like that happens, it is frustrating. So
you guys didn't give up. I mean, you in particular, I think you hit 3 or 4 threes in the fourth quarter. At what point were you starting to feel it and starting to get more confidence with your shooting?
I'm not actually sure what happened. Maggie just looked at me and said, "Shoot it," and they started falling, and it felt good. So I wanted to keep doing it.
What do you think? Taking from this game again, as Coach said, it's kind of a bittersweet loss because I felt like we really played very well, but still ended up on the losing end. So what do we take from this and really the first part of the season into Christmas break and into next year?
I think coming back next year, we got to be a bit more aggressive. I think sometimes we focus on the refs too much, and we have to control what we can and just come out and play our game and not let too many outside factors affect that.
Kendra, kind of same question for you from an offensive perspective. We seem to have kind of a roller coaster night where we would go on a run of seemed like we couldn't miss, and then other times where we'd go 2-3 minutes and it didn't seem like we could buy a basket. As one of the captains on the team, one of the leaders on the team, what are you saying to players on the court and in timeouts to kind of keep them motivated during those times?
I really wanted to try to refocus us and make sure that through the ups and downs, we've got the basics, and not let the bad games ruin the rest of the season for us, but move on, pick up where we're down, and then get back up. So.
Coach, we got a nice little break here to get some rest and recuperation, I'm sure it's your players and you are looking forward to. But kind of the same question I asked Brianna, as you look back in the first half of the season, what are some things you felt like we did really well? And then as we look ahead, I mean, last year we had kind of a disappointing first half of the season, came back and won, I think, 8 or 9 straight out of the gate. So what are you telling your players as they go into break to refocus them for second semester?
Well, we just talked about the fact we have a lot of basketball yet to play, and we got to go home, enjoy time with family, time away from school, and just celebrate Christ coming to earth and enjoy the season. But not forget about the fact that we're on a basketball team, and do some work over the break, and then come back, 1st of January, be ready to play. And we usually have a great trip there that week back, and that's a good team time. We have traditionally had some good games, played well, and really kicked off the rest of the year for us. So, we'll look for that to happen again. But looking back on this first semester, last year we had some tough times really to overcome, and it felt like this year we haven't so much struggled as mightily as we did last year. At the same time, you look at 2 or 3 games there in a row or in a short span anyway, that we, you look and go shoulda, woulda, coulda, and you hate to do that. I mean, we're up by 5 with a very small amount of time on the clock and lose that game. We lose one game on a last-second shot. So those are games we wish, you look back and go, oh, we wish. But at the same time, we're competing and we're there with teams that in the past we haven't been. And so, we look at that and say that's progress. And that's all we want to do is be better tomorrow than we are today and keep moving forward.